Hello, good morning or good afternoon. Um, this is a lecture on the human development approach to development, um, which is another approach, another model for development. So, what we'll see here, we'll discuss or rather look at some of the definitions of human development and also the context of human development. First of all, the standard definition of human development was first published in 1990 in the Human Development Report, which refers to a process of enlarging people's choices to live lives they have reason to value. All right, so whatever life that is, whether you will be a farmer, you are a teacher, you are a businessman, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So the most critical ones are to lead a long and healthy life. So you must have a long, healthy life. Okay, and to be knowledgeable and to enjoy a decent standard of living. However, there is a broader definition which was published in 2010, yeah, in the Human Development Report, um, which define the human development as the expansion of people's freedom um, to live long, healthy, and creative lives, and also to advance other goals they have reason to value, and to engage actively in shaping development equitably uh, and sustainably on a shared planet. Okay, so in 1990, the first Human Development Report introduced this new approach with the goals of advancing human well-being to improve human life. So the human development approach is basically about expanding the richness of human life rather than simply the richness of the economy or how rich the country is in which human beings live. So it is an approach that is focused on people rather than the country or rather than the economy, and it also focuses on their opportunities and uh, choices. Okay, so the focus is on the people rather than the, as I said, the economy of the country. Now, so human development um, focuses on improving the lives people lead rather than assuming the economic growth uh, will will lead automatically, yeah, to greater well-being for all. So in other words, a country may have increase in its GDP and its economy, but if the life of the people are still poor, that is not really good for the people who live in that country. So in human development approach, the income is only seen as a means to development rather than an end at itself. So what can you get with that income? Yeah, is it better life? Is it better quality of living? Is it better education and so on? Those are the important things rather than just the income itself. Yeah, what you can get from that money or the income that you get. So human development is also about giving people more freedom to live lives they value, life they choose. Right. So this means that developing people's abilities, giving them a chance to use them. Example is, for example, uh, of a girl. Um, Educating a girl would build her skills and knowledge, but it is of little use if she is denied access to jobs, if there's no opportunity given for her to be employed, yeah, or if she doesn't have the right skills for local labor market. I mean, she may have knowledge and so on, but the skills and knowledge are not applicable to the local market, so that would be uh, useless as well. So the three foundations for human development are to live a long, healthy, creative life, to be knowledgeable, sorry, and to have access to the resources needed for them to maintain a decent standard of living. So once the basic human development are achieved, they will open up opportunities for progress in other aspects of their life. So human development is also about more choice. Yeah, in other words, uh, it is about providing people with opportunities, not insisting that they make use of them. Right. So no one can guarantee human happiness, for example, and the choices people make are their own concern. Okay, we can't force people to do this, to do that, if they're not happy about doing such thing, or if that is not the choice. Okay, so giving opportunities for people uh, to decide uh, where they want to go, what kind of things they want to do. So the process of development, which is human development, should at least create an environment for people. Yeah, creating an environment, conducive environment for people, individually and collectively. Yeah, to develop their full potential and to have a reasonable chance of leading productive and creative life they value. So historically, two persons are of great importance as far as the uh, human development approach is concerned. The first one is Mabuk al-Haq, who is Pakistani, by the way, a scholar. And the second person is Amartya Sen, who's a Nobel laureate. So the economist Mabuk al-Haq, his work was anchored in the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen's work on human capabilities, and this is often framed in terms of whether people are able to be, yeah, or and do, yeah, desirable things in life. For example, the beings there, being is to be today, to be well fed, to have a house, to be sheltered, and to be healthy, yeah, in their life. So in other words, having access to medical facilities, having access to job, yeah, where they can earn income, having opportunities to own houses and so on. That's the being. The doing part, the do, yeah. For example, is the work itself, education that they have, yeah, whether or not they have opportunities to go to school, to go to college, and so on. Yeah, and also doing also include voting, whether they have the right to vote or not. Yeah, for both men and women, and also participating in community life. So freedom of choice is central actually to the human development approach. Freedom of choice. Yeah. So someone choosing to be hungry, for example, during the religious fast. Uh, Ramadan and so on, yeah, is quite different to someone who is hungry because they cannot afford to buy food. So two different things, yeah. So one is by choice, and the other is they don't have any choice. Yeah, they are hungry because they just don't have the means to uh, get the food that they needed. Okay, so up to the second of the 20th century, the grow and this is looking back at how development was seen, yeah, or was perceived. So the gross domestic product and economic growth emerged as the leading indicator of national progress in many countries, yeah, up to the second half of the 20th century. And yet, GDP was never intended to be used as a measure of well-being. Okay, so higher per capita income or GDP in a country does not always mean that its people are better off, yeah, than those in a country with lower income. So you may have, for example, a country with lower income, but the life of the people are much better than the life of people in the higher GDP country. Okay, an example of this, we could compare, for example, the quality of life of people in some countries in the Middle East, where even if their GDP is higher because of the oil revenue and so on, but the quality of life in other countries with a lower income per capita may be better than those who are living in the oil-rich country, for example. Yeah. So in 1970s and 80s, development debate began to consider using other alternatives, yeah, which focus beyond the GDP. Uh, so including putting greater emphasis on employment, for example, on the redistribution with growth, and then whether people had the basic needs met and so on. So these are the debates then. And these ideas help to pave the way for human development approach. Yeah, not only the approach but also on how uh, the human development is measured as well. So according to Amartya Sen, um, the people are the real wealth of nations. Yeah? So the contrast between what great things human beings can achieve and what limited lives most women and men end up living is truly remarkable. And according to Mabuk al-Haq, the objective for development is to create an enabling environment for people to enjoy long, healthy, and creative life. And if you want to, this is a good what do you call video here. You just click on this YouTube, and you can watch that later on. I've seen that a few times already. Okay, so Sen is the one who began to popularize the human development approach based on Mahbub's al-Haq's ideas. Yeah. Okay. So the human development approach is shifting the focus of development economics from a national income accounting to people-centered policies. Right. So the report, the 1990 report, Human Development Report, is not just any report that UNDP might commission on a given development theme, nor is it a status report for monitoring development. It has a much broader ambition. Yeah, for example, setting out a comprehensive approach to development, including an agenda of policy priorities, tools of analysis and measurement, and also a coherent conceptual framework. Okay, so the emergence of human development approach so it was Amartya Sen's work on capabilities and functioning that provided the strong conceptual foundation for the new approach or the new paradigm. So his approach defines human development as a process of enlarging a person's functionings and capabilities. Yeah, functionings and capabilities to function, the range of things that a person could do and be in her or his life, expressed in human development reports as expanding choices. Yeah, this is according to Amartya Sen in 1989. There was further improvement after that. So Sen continued to influence the evolution of human development approach refining and broadening the basic concepts, the three basic concepts early on, and measurement tool as new areas of policy changes were tackled. Yeah, from, for example, sustainable development UNDP 1994 to gender equality in 1995, and then it further improved to include poverty issue 1997, and then also um, it evolved into the consumption and sustainable development in 1998, and the human rights in 2000, in the year 2000, and also democracy 2002. So there has been a lot of um, changes, yeah, um, new areas of policy changes, yeah, over the years. Now, so measuring human development. So one of the more important achievement of human development approach has been to ensure a growing acceptance of the fact that monetary measures such as GDP per capita, which was previously used in other models of development, these are inadequate proxies of development. Okay, in other words, just measuring how much income the country has is not enough to really measure whether or not people in the countries are also developing as well. So the first Human Development Report introduced the Human Development Index, and I think you are familiar with this, HDI, as a measure of achievement in the basic dimensions of human development across countries. So Human Development HDI or Human Development Index is indeed different from most development model. So the critical difference between most previous models and the Human Development Index is that most development models exclusively focus on the expansion of income. I remember I've mentioned that earlier on. The focus is more on how rich the country is. Yeah? While the Human Development Index embraces the enlargement of all human choices, talking about having the opportunities and choices, economic, political, social, and cultural, which all affect income. Okay. Now you can look at this. There's another YouTube here, which you can uh, see for yourself later on, an illustration of the process, yeah, of how human development index should be measured. Okay, so human development index emphasizes the outcomes of for people as well as their capabilities. Yeah, so it accounts for average achievements in number one. One of the dimension is on life expectancy. Life expectancy is really a proxy for leading a long and healthy life, right? And education is number two, is also a proxy for being knowledgeable, and income per capita is a proxy for command over resources to have a decent standard of living. In other words, the income itself is nothing unless that income is used to improve your life. If you want to buy, for example, a better house, enjoy your holiday, buy a car, and so on and so forth. These are ways to improve the standard of living. Okay, so the Human Development Index, basically the three components. Yeah? Number one is the long and healthy life, and then you have second one is knowledge, and third one is decent. And under long and healthy life, we have, for example, life expectancy index or the life expectancy at birth as the measurement. Yeah, and then for knowledge, the education index, for example, how many mean years of schooling, or expected years of schooling as a measure of level of knowledge. And then for decent standard of living, that is mainly looking at the gross national income per capita, and this is actually the one that has been used earlier on in the previous model. But these two aspects here, that knowledge and long life, was neglected, was not even considered in the earlier model.